How you wonderful people doing this morning? Welcome back. The last time we worked on the Buick was we built these rotisseries for it, and now I've actually had it on the rotisserie and did my sandblasting. It's really hard to record sandblasting, which I'm going to do some welding and then I'll record some sandblasting, because say like all these welds, they kind of disappear as soon as you sandblast them. So once I weld up the whole bottom part and grind it all down, I'm going to re-sandblast it, and you won't be able to tell anything ever happened. So now that I sandblasted it, you can actually see all of the little rust holes that I have to still fix. Like this is in the trunk, which I didn't do any welding in the trunk before I sandblasted it, which these are going to be really easy to replace because it's just little tiny pinholes. Either I take a piece of brass behind it and fill it and plug weld it, or I'll replace a little chunk of steel where it's really bad, like probably right through here I'll replace a piece of steel. But most of these are just little pinholes. Like right here, I'll replace a piece of steel, but all of these, the steel is good except for like the little needle hole that's right there. Which in reality, if I was just aiming for this to be a quick job, I could fix the big ones and then just roll it with port 15 and it'll hold up fine. But I want this car to last forever, and the next person who takes it apart in 100 years actually sees the dedication and effort put into it to make it perfect. So like here's some more rust holes, which you would never see it later on, but I want to fix it from the backside. See here where the top goes down into, and more. My objective for this week is going to be replacing this piece, grinding out all my welds, replacing the tops right here, which I just showed you in the other film, right through here where the rust is, and then the trunk part where it's all rusted out right here, and then get this sandblasted hopefully next week, get this shot with port 15, then do some body work on the body panels, and then shoot that with epoxy, get some bondo on it. So hopefully within the month this will be out of here, the frame will be in here, and then we'll start getting her all together and painted. The Buick all welded back in, all my welds ground down. So now I'm going to sandblast it with the Harbor Freight 110-pound sandblaster. Got my plastic up. What I did is I cut a hole in my door. Well, I got a piece of plywood that goes over the top of it, kind of just like how this one is. So I can just screw to it. So the cut is here, and then you screw to this side and you can take it off, take it on. And I can put fans in here. So like when I'm painting, I have these fans in here. When I'm sandblasting, I have these fans in here to get the light dust particles to go out. So I have a forced air helmet, which you'll see me wearing when I'm sandblasting. My only critique on this Harbor Freight sandblaster is the hose. It kept exploding. It says it's rated for 200 PSI, but right out of the valve assembly, it explodes, and I had to cut off 4 inches and replumb it up. So I originally had 6 feet of hose, ended up with like 4.5 feet of hose once I got this done, because it exploded like 4 or 5 times on me. So I bought an actual sandblasting hose, which is 15 feet long. We'll see how that works. Haven't tried it out yet, but so far I like how much farther I can get away from the sandblaster. Like that's almost all the way at the back of the car, and I still have room to get to the front of the car. Well, I'll bring you back on sandblasting. Took me and my dad about an hour and a half to get all the sand and rust out of the rockers and whatnot, which I blew that out the door. I kept the plastic from sandblasting because it really doesn't matter, because I'm going to paint this. The bottom's getting port 15, which I just put etch on it about an hour ago. Still waiting for it to dry because there's still some wet spots. So port 15 etch, which here I'll show it to you. Port 15 etch, you can spray it on, you just got to wait for it to dry before you put your port 15 on if you're doing a sandblasted surface, because port 15 cures to rust better, but the etch completely kills any rust. So like this was all rust, now it turned white, and this rust color is rust that was there that you couldn't see, but it's kind of peering through now to where you can see it, but that's not a problem. The Port 15 will go over that and completely kill it. So I got it etched, got sand out of it, waiting for it to finish drying. Then I'm going to paint the bottom with Port 15. That lip was even clean. There was no paint on the outside. That's just what glued it itself together on that little ring. Port 15, some serious stuff.
Game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it.
Pull plastic off since I got it shot with Port 15. I sanded down the whole exterior and the inside of the body panels. So I'm ready to shoot epoxy primer. I mixed it and then went and ate dinner because you have to let epoxy sit for 30 minutes so it can germinate and cure together. So I'm gonna get shooting.
Got a bad little waist and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, got some egos to the face. Baby, I don't need no space. Come
here with an epoxy, had to tape off the Port 15 so it didn't get turned into this gray color. So got a nice beautiful black underneath. The whole car is now in paint, well, primer. So now next video is going to be doing Bondo, like this area, all of these. And I'm going to put Bondo directly over this epoxy as long as it's within 3 days of shooting, which I'm on day 2 because I had to go to work the last couple of days. I haven't had time to do any work on the Buick. So I'm going to start doing Bondo tonight so that way I can get the majority of it on here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Right over here is the playlist on the Buick if you're interested. Thanks for watching.